What's up, boys? Today we have a new car in the shop. I don't have any fancy editing for this one because yeah, it looks pretty rough, to be honest. This is a 1990 something. I actually don't know the year model, but it's an Accord CB3. My friend actually bought this, like, I think somewhere near winter last year, or maybe it was this winter. I don't know, but it still got the studded tires on, so it must be sometime in the winter or just before the winter. And then he drove it for like 2 weeks or something, and something weird happened with the clutch. The clutch doesn't disengage when you put the pedal down, and we have replaced the slave and the master cylinder, but there's still something wrong with it. Might have to do something with the clutch fork, or maybe this pressure plate is worn out in the car. So then he ordered this new clutch kit. He was supposed to put that in, and the thing is, now my Mercedes that I have, the turbo diesel one which I swapped, it has blown the turbo, and I feel pretty finished with that car. To be honest with you, it's a lot of work for that car to make it nice, and I really don't feel like putting in the hours into that car. So I bought a shit ass Honda instead. I think I'll show you more of the actual car later in the video when we get it running and driving, or should I say if we do that. But because then I can give it a wash and show it to its full potential, so to say. But these are actually really nice. I've wanted one of these before. I almost bought one like a couple of years ago. They're pretty rare, at least here in Sweden, pretty hard to find, and I just love the body styling on these ones. But then again, I'll have to do that later when I can edit some nice clips. The ordeal with replacing clutches in front wheel drive vehicles, I only done it in rear wheel drive before, is that we now have to take out the axles, then like tilt the engine down, you know, so we can pull out the gearbox, take out the clutch, replace it with the new one, see if the fork and all is looking good. Hopefully it is, and then we just hope that it works. I never actually encountered this issue with the clutch before. Usually just the slave goes out or something, but it actually moves, like you can see the thing here. When you press the clutch, that thing actually moves. So there's something weird going around in there. And I know my buddy, he had this to a shop as well, and he said also that he needs to replace the clutch and the pressure plate. So we'll just hope for that, and you get to follow me while I'm replacing the clutch on this Honda. Then later, I guess when it's running and driving, we'll give it a wash, and I'll talk more about it. But right now we have a pressing matter here, and we need to replace the clutch. So let's go, boys. Shit, boys, this turned from a nice racing session, a little fun with the Honda, to a complete shit show. Holy shit. This has taken a long ass time, but at least now the gearbox is off and the clutch and pressure plate is off the car. As you can see here, it's a whole mess of wires and stuff. I don't know why, but I feel like maybe it is because I haven't done stuff like this in a long time, but I feel like this car just has so many wires and hoses going on. I don't know why, but Maybe it's because I haven't done a lot of front wheel drive stuff. I mean, I have the Evo, which has the engine like mounted this way, but I haven't really been in the engine compartment of that one. I really prefer rear wheel drive cars, or at least cars with the engine the right way, you know. So the gearbox is here and it's full of oil. I got oil all over the floor. I got mismatched bolts and shit laying all over the ground. Some of them I've actually taken care of like this, and there's tools everywhere, and yeah, fucking axle laying over there. I saw also it's beginning to crack here in the CV boot, so I might have to, or I should really see if I can replace those. So I think I need to go to some store today, check if they have any CV boots for this kind of car. Might be some like universal ones that they should fit, but this is the only one that's pretty bad. This one will go pretty soon, so I should really get that changed. I don't even want to mention what time it is a day right now, but it's definitely time for me to go to bed, so that's what I'm gonna do. I was just gonna show you guys. This is the old clutch and pressure plate. The clutch is yeah, well, it's worn, but not really bad, I think. I mean, you could drive this more, but the clutch was never the problem, or at least not like the grip of it. Then the pressure plate, I don't know, looks kind of fine to me, I guess. Here it is in comparison to the new one. So I mean, yeah, of course it looks kind of worn here, but I guess they all do. Don't really know. To me, at least, doesn't seem like there's anything wrong with this one really, but I sure hope it is, because I yeah, if it's not this one, I don't know what could cause the issue. And also, I don't know where I put that one. Here, the clutch fork also looks good. I mean, the throwout bearing was in the right way and didn't see any issues really. But yeah, I'm gonna go to bed, and then we have to keep working on this tomorrow and hopefully get it all done, so I can go test drive it, give it a wash, and then show you the actual car. Too much for me to finish in one day. Sorry boys, I'll have to go for this one. But see you all tomorrow, then we'll continue with the car. Nice. So it's day 2 with the Honda. We just put the gearbox on. Didn't really film when I put the clutch on and we got the gearbox up, but one of my friend's mate who came by said that this pressure plate looked a little bit crooked. If you held it up you could see it, so I hope that's the problem at least. But Leo and my friend Martin, they helped me to put the gearbox on, so I didn't really film that, but the clutch is on, the gearbox is on. Didn't have a clutch alignment tool either, so I used an extension with a bit of tape on, and now I just have to figure everything else out. I know there was 2 lines that I had to cut, which are in here somewhere. I don't really know what they're for, but there was oil coming out of them when I cut them, so I have to replace those, but I think I have some hose around here which should fit. And yeah, just bolt everything back together. But I'm kind of in a time crunch doing this, and I would like to like finish this tonight, or maybe have like some bolts left to put in. I had my motorcycle driving lesson today, because I'm taking the test for it now on Friday. So I don't really have that much time, to be honest. It's kinda today or not, because tomorrow I'm going working with my dad. And I want this done as soon as possible, since I don't really have a daily to drive. So I think I'm just gonna bang this out, maybe put the GoPro on a time lapse and try to get it filmed. But now it's just taking everything and putting it back together, and I have all of these bolts and I don't really know where they all go. I'll have to figure that out, and I also have all of these bolts up in this tray, and I don't really remember what I did. And there's a lot of bolts and also a lot of wires and stuff. I don't really know why there's so many wires in an old Japanese car, but apparently there is. Honestly, I think we have to do like a big delete on this one. I'm thinking of taking away the AC unit just because there's so much shit in there really. So maybe you have to go. But yeah, that's the situation right now. And after we've done that, we have to bleed both the master and the slave also, because we kind of did some shitty things to it before when we were tinkering with the master and stuff. So I have to take that out, bleed it, and then bleed the whole system. So I don't really know how I'm supposed to do all of this in a pretty short amount of time, because it's almost time for me to go to bed now in a couple of hours. So yeah, we've got some work to do. But I think I'll just, as I said, put on a time lapse, try to bang this out, and we'll see if the car is drivable by then. At least the gearbox went on all fine, and that's kind of the most iffy part, and the part that I really like needed help from someone else to, like, you know, help me lift it in. So that's nice. Let's get to it. What's up guys? So I just got finished with the Honda. There's been about 3 days of wrenching, so I didn't film anything today because this has been a whole shit show. I can't even tell you how many problems I've had putting this back together. Now just today when I went to put the axles in, the CV joints kind of got dislocated, so I had to pull them apart and put them back together again, and a whole bunch of issues. But now it runs and drives, clutch works great. So I really don't know what was wrong with it. The clutch looked fine, but yeah, now it's working, so that's nice. It's kind of a bit dirty, I would say now, because it's been sitting outside the shop since October, November, I think. And I thought I would clean it a little bit before I show it to you guys. So let's get the cleaning. So yeah, now we have washed off the Honda a little bit. I'm going to wash the Evo too, since that has been sitting outside for a couple of days. Got kind of dusty, you know. Martin is also going to give his car a quick wash. Yeah, so I thought I was just going to show you the Honda real quick. It's nothing special, but I got a few plans for it. And I really like these models. I've been actually thinking about getting one, because I just love the body styling on these ones. Looks really good. There are a couple of issues with it, but it was really cheap, around $300. So I have something a bit cheaper to make some videos on, because I want to stay regular with the uploads now. And of course I'm still going to spend money on the Evo, but I don't know really what direction I'm heading with that car. Yeah, so I don't really know like exactly what parts I want to get and how I want the end product to look like. And with that car I'm kind of picky with how I want it, since it's so nice. Don't want to F things up. But as I said, the Mercedes broke down, and I think I'll sell that thing because I feel pretty done with it. And then I have this my E39, which has been sitting outside the shop for a long ass time, but it needs some serious work. Like, you don't see this in pictures, but it has clear coat peeling off it, like on several places of the car, bubbly rust there, and yeah, also needs a new MAF, but I ordered that, so that's inside the shop. So I think someday we'll just take some time, get it running and get it ready for MOT or inspections, so I can go through that with it and it's like drivable at least and road legal. But I want to take some serious action with this thing before I really get it on the road and going, and for that I needed a new daily, so I bought this Accord. Now let's get to some of the bad things with this Accord. This gas cap is broken, but the previous owner has got a new one for me. Interior is pretty clean. There's just this wire thing for the fans that the previous owner did, which is pretty haggard. And also this plastic here is a bit broken, doesn't have a stereo at the moment, but it's laying right there. But I think I'll get another head unit. And also, yeah, I'll just skip to the worst part. This. The rear fenders have rusted out on this one. In the winter time here in Sweden we salt all the roads, so this pretty much happens to every Honda. I was looking for a nicer one to begin with, but this one was so cheap, and the rust spot really aren't that bad compared to other Hondas that I've seen, because if they get driven in the winter time here and or these old, they're going to rust. So there's that on both sides, and a little bit right down there in the wheel well. There's a little dent here, and also this door has got some slight rust, so that we have to fix. It's also got some small oil leaks coming from the engine. I think that's about it, but I got some parts on the way for this one. Maybe some coilovers, some new wheels. I think we slam it on some new wheels, put on some R-comps, maybe do something to the brakes so I can go track it a little bit if I don't feel like tracking the Evo for some reason. Maybe some new seats and a bunch of JDM shit, my guys. So I think this car will be really nice. Also, I believe the engine's called a F20B3. That's the one that's in this one, which is not very cool, but it's kind of nice because these ones came in Sweden in two models, the 110 horsepower one and the 133 horsepower one, and this is the 133. So it's a bit more peppy. It's slow as shit, but it's a bit more peppy than the other one, and this is like the one that you want if you're not going to buy like an Accord Type R or anything. But I'm really stoked for this project, and I think it's gonna be a fun time, you know, do something a bit cheaper than the Evo, because as I said, videos, they take a lot of money, and this thing takes a lot of money. So this will be nice, fixing this up, especially since, like I mentioned earlier, like I've always kind of wanted one of these, so it's nice now finally to have one. I don't know if you guys can see it, but if you skip the auxiliary lights, the front end, at least the lights, looks kind of like an S14, I think. I can show you some cool features with it also. The front seat here has height adjusted via electricity, so that's pretty cool. It's also got the retractable sunroof here, which is also electric driven, and it's all power windows. All of them work. Everything about this car really works. Starts up. Oh shit. Forgot the parking brake. Starts up real good. Sounds real nice. Also needs a polish real bad, so we'll have to detail this bad boy. But that's kind of the plan. And now you've seen the Honda. I would go for a test drive and film some stance shots or whatever, but right now it's kind of a rusted piece of shit Honda on some steelies. So I think we'll do that later when we've fixed her up a bit. But I'm pretty stoked. Also cool, like I know it probably doesn't make any major difference, but this is the first car I own with double wishbone suspension, so it will be nice to kind of see how that feels compared to other cars that I've driven, if it's something cool or not. I don't know. It's kind of a mess to work with when I was doing some stuff today, but yeah, So this is the new car, and right now I'm probably going to film some washing clips, and then we'll head inside. I also cleaned up the shop a little bit after, so it's not like horrendous. It's not good, but it's okay. And I can show you that I got this fan because it's been really hot in Sweden, and right now, like working in the shop, especially when I got the like shop overall suit thing, it's really hot and I've been sweating a lot. Also bought these one-time use gloves so I don't have to get my hands dirty, because I hate getting dirty when working on cars. That's like the #1 thing that I hate. It's so nice to work on the Evo since I've powder coated and cleaned up her, because you don't get any rust in your face or anything when you're lying underneath the car, and that's so nice. That's about it. Let's film some stancy shots, my guys. So I gave a little quick wash to my mom's BMW that I've been borrowing, so she'll get that back tomorrow, now that I have the new daily. Quick wash to the Evo, just so I can put it in the shop. As I said, got a bit dusty out there, but now she's looking all fire again. And that's it for the video. I know that I kinda didn't film a lot when I wrenched on the Honda, but that's because I mean, it gave me a really bad time. That Honda kicked my ass. I also got with it the oil and filter, so I'll replace that too. But only fun things from now on. I think the Honda project is going to be real fun, and I'm looking forward to doing some mods on that car. But other than that, haven't got much more to say. If you want to follow me on my Instagram, check the link down in the description. Also there you can find my Patreon page if you want to support me in what I do, join our Discord server, etc. I hope you liked the video. If you did like it, if you did not, just dislike it, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Have a great day. Bye.
Yo, I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the